Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Olivia Lemmon.
If someone has something to add, we're asking you to call the Princeton Police immediately, or the tip line, which is anonymous. We can use whatever information that the public feels they can give at this point that's relevant to this investigation.
A plea tonight from officials as the body of a 27-year-old woman is discovered in a wooded area in Princeton. The small town is on alert as police continue the search for the woman's killer. Good evening, everyone. I'm Olivia Lemmon. It's our top story tonight, a murder mystery in Princeton. Certainly an emotional day as thousands from all over the state and really the country gathered at St. Joseph's Church in Charlton to pay their final respects to fallen police officer Ronald Tarantino Jr. His wife came out before the funeral speaking to the media saying thank you to all of the police departments and the community across the country who have shown their support for the family. Richard Simone was in violation of his probation because he wasn't paying restitution out of a larceny case. This led police in many central Massachusetts towns to be on the lookout for him. Today, he faced charges out of Millbury, where he led police on a chase that eventually ended because they felt it was unsafe to continue. It was discussed at last week's City Council meeting, and it will be discussed again tonight. City councilors are worried with the warmer weather coming, there will be more dirt bikes on the road. Worcester police say within the last month, there has already been an uptick in activity. Just behind us is I-290, where investigators were working the scene. It's also where a portion was closed off for a majority of the day on Tuesday. A body was discovered on the side of the road late this morning. The Board of Selectmen in Dunstable say there has never really been a big push from residents to change this rule since the town is so small. A little over 3,000 people live there, where there is only one convenience store attached to the gas station. Right now it's 18 degrees out, but with the wind chill, it feels like 3. People we spoke with today say bundling up is the most important thing to remember while working outside. Doctors say to be aware of signs of frostbite and hypothermia. A possible breakthrough in the state's fight against the opioid epidemic. There is new technology at UMass Medical School working to track a patient's drug use. Doctors say the wearable technology could help addicts. Doctors at UMass Medical School in Worcester say a wristband worn by patients could help potentially end the opioid epidemic.
Could we maybe find a way to predict how patients would be tolerant to opioids and maybe predict which one of these patients you give opioids to tend to have worsening tolerance or potentially even addiction?
Dr. Peter Chai says sensors on the band recognize body temperatures and movements associated with drug use. These movements are then downloaded to a smartphone application.
In a patient who is a recovering opioid user who is in a substance abuse treatment center, we can figure out when they're going to start craving drug, and we can prevent that craving by delivering an intervention in real time at that spot.
He says the hope of this technology is to recognize patterns of drug use leading to addiction and overdoses. Dr. Chai and Dr. Edward Boyer are part of a team also working on a new pill, detecting how much and how often patients take pain medication. Inside the digital pill capsule is the medication and a small flexible chip.
That chip activates when it hits your stomach and dissolves. The stomach acid activates a small battery, which turns on a radio transmitter, which sends a unique signal to your smartphone.
Dr. Boyer says the hope is to treat pain efficiently and prevent addiction effectively.
Dependence, misuse, and abuse are, I don't think it's a secret to anybody, it's a huge problem in the United States right now.
A sea of blue outside St. Joseph's Church in Charlton to honor fallen officer Ronald Tarantino Jr. The Auburn police officer's funeral was a celebration of his life.
It's amazing to see how many lives he has touched and how each of you has shown and expressed your love for him.
His wife, Tricia Tarantino, spoke outside of the church before the funeral, thanking police departments and people from all over for the outpouring of support.
Ron would be so touched to see how much he was loved. Thank you, everyone locally and across the country, from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you.
My brother was the greatest officer any department could hope for. He did his job the right way. He had everything you needed to be a great police officer: courage, strength, integrity, and compassion, just to name a few.
His youngest sister, Caitlin Tarantino, delivered the eulogy. From tears to laughter, she remembered him for his courage and sense of humor.
I'm not sure what he enjoyed more, making us laugh or cracking himself up, but I think it would be safe to go with the latter.
For those of you who knew Ron and heard his laugh will never forget it. It was a high-pitched giggle that shouldn't have come from a man of his size. It was infectious.
Tarantino's uncle, Larry James, is also a police officer. He called Ron his hero and says he's grateful to have had someone like him in his life.
He was not only my dad, but he was my best friend. I learned everything that I know from him. His sense of humor, his work ethic.
Officer Tarantino's son, Spencer, spoke for his two brothers. He says he hopes something good can come out of this tragedy. He encouraged everyone to be respectful to police officers and thank them for the job they do every day.
I can tell you all that my dad loved you very much. Everybody. That's why he did his job. And I couldn't be more proud of him.
Now, Tarantino was buried after the funeral in a private ceremony in Leicester, the town where his family lives.